Hey, what is up, my free and powerful friends? It's the freaking weekend. And that might mean excitement for some of you. Hopefully, you have a lot of creative plans on the agenda already. But today's lesson is for anybody that's asking those questions of like, what do I even do on Friday nights? What do I do with myself all day Saturday? For me, it was Sunday Funday. Like Sunday Funday was in my DNA, it felt like. And so without those drinking activities that I was looking forward to Monday through Thursday, Friday would roll around and feel a little bit lackluster. And that might be where you're at, and that's okay. And there's a few things that I want to hash out today with you. So, welcome, welcome. If you are here, yay. As you're coming in, leave a question, drop questions in the chat. If you're watching this as a replay, remember, I'm looking at the comment section so that I can hear what your takeaways are, what questions you have, what things you want to know about in another Sober October streaming series day. So, welcome. Thanks for being here. We're talking about how to handle the weekend, free time. And I'm going to be speaking mainly to people that have days off. I know there are other people that work over the weekends, and I think that's actually a really good thing to keep yourself busy and to make money and to do all of those things. But for the people that, get off work Friday at 5, maybe their old routine was to stop by and have happy hour or to go home, get ready right away for the night out, go into Saturday brunch, Saturday night out, Sunday fun day. All of those people, I'm talking to you. Maybe that looked like even Saturday at home with bottles of wine or cocktails by yourself on Friday night. So to everybody in that bucket doing Sober October, or even curious about it, let's talk about how to handle the weekend. So first off, I want to go a little bit deep here and remind you, maybe even say it, this may be the first time you've ever heard this concept, but I want to let you know that time is an illusion. Time is this funny thing that if you start to read about it, start to look it up, like throughout history, people have questioned what is time. And we get back to this notion that time is actually a man-made thing. Moments are passing, but we as humans organize it by seconds, minutes, hours, days. And then we take these days and we put them on the calendar and we break them down into 7 and we make 4 of the 7 equal 1 month. And there's all these funny things about time where if we can just like release our conditioning of time, we can start to look at the weekends very differently. Now, everything in our society conditions us to look at time as one of the most valuable things, but time is really just an illusion and a system that we created to count the moments. And over the weekend, you have a lot of moments in which you are not designated to be doing something, dealing with work. You are not required to be spending those moments giving your time to someone else. This is time. These are moments that are meant for you to be creative and say, how would I feel best spending these moments without alcohol? How would I feel excited, energized, proud of myself? Maybe the activity itself isn't quote unquote fun, but the feeling and the result that it provides is so positive that I would love to spend my moments doing this, because doing it in this moment will lead to a moment of self-satisfaction and pride and self-acceptance and determination and eagerness to keep going. So look at time on a grand scale and realize that it's just an illusion. And Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we are typically so conditioned that if we don't go out and we're not around people and we're not having drinks or eating all of the off-plan food, eating all of the naughty food, then what really is Friday? What do I have to look forward to all week? What do I have to look forward to if I'm not going to be drinking and partying this weekend? And I think that's a big indicator. It's a question that can make sense consciously, but on a deep level, it means that you haven't practiced giving yourself authentic things to look forward to. So alcohol has become that shortcut, that easy way to have something to look forward to. Goals are so important in the human brain. I just had a call with one of my VIP clients and we were talking about this. She said she realized that she was getting complacent in her days. And I said, I really kind of felt that. What do you think has been going on? And she said, I haven't been reading over my goals and I haven't been looking and focusing on my goals as much. I've just been letting time pass. And so my brain has been looking for things to focus on. And I found that I've been ruminating over alcohol a little bit more. And it's just so funny. I see that our brain, without authentic, intentional goals, it will feed on the shortcuts, the things that we used in the past for immediate satisfaction, immediate fun, immediate release and soothing and coping. And so when we say, oh, I have nothing to look forward to if I'm not going to drink on the weekends, hey, a little bit of a punch in the gut. You just haven't done anything other than drinking on the weekend. So now here's your time. Here's your moments back to pull those things off the back burner that you've been saying you've wanted to try. All of those things you say like, oh, it's so cool that those people get to do that thing, but not me. It's likely that you say not me in your mind because you're planning and budgeting your time around drinking and around your actual money going towards alcohol. So without that happening, think about the world of opportunities, the ways that you can spend your time. So I have some strategies, some little suggestions that I found really helpful, things that clients love, things that the previous sober experimenters loved, ways to go into the weekend. So first off, I want to encourage you to spend more time alone than with other people during the weekend. I don't necessarily mean isolate completely, but do not feel like you have to show up to events and say yes to invites, especially if there's going to be alcohol involved in your first few weekends of sobriety. And I don't mean this just because I don't think that you could overcome temptation when it comes to alcohol. But I think that it just trains the brain to still spend your time going to the same places, hanging out with the same people that are literally doing the same things over and over every weekend. You know, it might be a different environmental setting, but they're going to sit and have drinks, going to dance and have drinks, going to do X, Y, and Z and have drinks. And the drinking is the actual activity. You're training your brain to just do the same things and just switch out what you're holding in your hand. And I've talked about this on another lesson. You guys might remember when I said, you know, if you're just going into the same place, that's the same activity of drinking, and you're just abstaining from the drinking part, it's pretty obvious you're not going to have fun because they're going there with the intention that that's the activity. So sometimes you can get lucky, you can luck out and have some really good conversation, things like that. But for the most part, people are not going for the conversations, they're going for the drinks. So if you just put yourself at the bar drinking club soda, eventually that can be really easy and fun. But in the first few weeks, it's something that maybe you just learn to say no to. You say, no, not this weekend. You know, I'm going to be working on my house. I'm doing some decorating. I'm going to mow the lawn. I'm going to work on the scrapbooking thing, blah, 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 blah. You don't even have to give them a response. No is a full sentence. No, thank you. I'm good. Have fun. So give yourself a permission slip to spend time alone. You need to get to know who you are. This is another thing that I've mentioned on another video, but repetition is the first law of learning. When we spend time drinking, we're usually spending our time chameleoning to be what everybody else wants and say yes to the party because we think that they want us to be there and that it would upset them if we're not there. We say yes to doing people favors. We say yes to doing things that we wouldn't normally do on our own in order to please others. And so it's very common when we set alcohol aside that we don't really know what we like. We don't really know who we are outside of our social group. So spend this time reconnecting to yourself. What do you want to do? This sounds really lame and cliche, but who do you want to be in 1 year? Like, ask yourself that stuff. What types of hobbies or interests have you been thinking about and kind of like maybe catching your eye? You see people doing it on social media or on TV or out and about. You see people roller skating, and you're like, you know what? I want to give that a try too. Maybe go to the roller rink tonight, the skating rink. What are the maybe the skills that you've been wanting to hone? I think a lot of people think about the weekend and think it has to be relaxing activities. It's kind of like a rule against anything productive. And it's like actually being productive and feeding into goals, even if it's something with studying, watching course modules, if you're in a class, doing your homework, things like that. It sounds like, oh, why would I do that on the weekend? But you have extra time. And the way it'll make you feel doing those things, it's better than saddling up to the bar and drinking again. Those people are doing the same thing over and over again. Whereas here you are finally cracking that textbook, finally opening up that course online, finally going to that roller skating rink, finally going to Hobby Lobby and picking up your new sewing kit. All of these things that could be these really cool, interesting skills that you're honing. I think as kids, we thought these things were really lame, but now as an adult, if I know anybody that knows a second language, if I know anybody that has a unique talent like sewing or knitting, or they paint or they play an instrument, especially instruments, like as adults, that is really cool to me. And I want anybody to be able to feel like, you know what? Drinking isn't the only cool thing. I can be really cool in my own individuality. I love this subject. I love that subject. I love to learn about this. Whatever that is, let your freak flag fly and be that and spend your time doing that. This is a concept called authenticity over attachment. We are always so prone to preserve and protect and chameleon ourselves in order to maintain attachments to other people. And oftentimes we go against what we truly want to make these other people happy. Whereas authenticity is saying, you know what? I actually want this for myself. So I'll draw my boundaries and I will be confident that my attachments will actually still love me. That takes a lot of self-worth practice. That's one of the foundational principles of Magnify coaching systems, is learning to do what's authentic to you instead of doing what's easy and shortcut to make other people like you. External validation is certainly a drug, right? So do what's authentic to you this weekend. And some of the things that I would encourage you to do is think about a physical activity that you enjoy, and then look up on ClassPass or Groupon or just on Google, see what you can figure out. Look up classes, group fitness classes that have to do with that. I would always suggest like an F45 class or Orange Theory, Pure Barre. I love Pure Barre. I used to be a Pure Barre instructor, and that was where I made a lot of girlfriends in my healthy identity. There were also girls that were going to get mimosas after class. And you know what? That helped me practice saying no and drinking water and coffee instead. But Pure Barre, Hot Works, True Fusion, these places are really popular and big. So they're in a lot of towns. So what I want you to do is pick out a class on Saturday and Sunday. And maybe go, if they have the same time slots, go at the same time each day. That way, whoever else is on that similar schedule as you, you're going to start to see them and you're going to start to become familiar with them and wave at them. And then maybe one day you're going to say, hey, let's go out and get coffee. And this person is healthy. They're working out with you. So, at least they have goals. They might have drinks every once in a while, but they have goals and they're in there on a Saturday and Sunday. And so you can already kind of vet them out as a healthy friendship to maybe nurture and cultivate. So go to a kind of a routine workout class. And I would say not just this Saturday and Sunday, but use this for your weeks to come during the weekdays as well. This is such a good hack to make new friends. Go to healthy places at the same time every day, because then you find people that are on your same routine. You find people that are also dedicated to these healthy places, so they've got a healthy self-image. This is such a hack. I cannot overemphasize this hack. Go to the same time Pure Barre class every morning. Go to the same time Hot Works class every day. You might not meet somebody on day 1 or 2 or 30, but by day 60 or 90, hey, you never know. That's actually how I met some of my best friends in the world, Nancy, Brooke, and Shannon. I'm so thankful that I did. So they're so healthy, and they were really, they came into my life right at this time when I shifted away from party friends, and they really helped elevate my identity and being healthy. And we had so much fun and weren't even drinking. Blew my freaking mind. Here's another aspect that blew my mind. When I first like sat down and had success in my sober weekends, I would just think, hey, there are really cool people out there in this universe who don't enjoy drinking for fun. They see it as a waste of time. They see it as energy sucking. They're like, I just don't really like it. It makes me sick. I don't like being out of control. There are people that think that way. There's so many more of them actually than that struggle with alcohol. There's so many more people that say no because they just don't care for it. Where do they hang out? And my brain like just started giving me so many ideas, because before I was thinking about where everybody hung out that was drinking and thinking, no, that's off limits. That's off limits. I was thinking about where I couldn't go. And then I started to think about where I could go, and my brain started to flood with ideas. So keep your mind and like the emphasis of your mind, the focus on your mind of what would be good. How can I do this versus I can't do this? How can I have fun? How can I entertain myself? How can I get involved? Here's another one. So I mentioned going to a routine fitness class so that you start to make friends who are on the same schedule as you. Also have a similar mindset. Do volunteer work. Maybe you just say this is going to be 1 weekend a month, but every weekend is also obviously a great use of time, makes you feel good, makes you feel charitable. That's actually one of the C's in the success type personality for Maxwell Maltz with psychocybernetics. The C's are for compassion and charity. And charity just makes you feel good. When you get outside of yourself and you see other people that need help, it makes you feel incredibly grateful for what you have in your life. And you start to see all of these really gratifying things in your life. When you're helping people who are less fortunate, it just makes you feel a certain type of way. So get out and do some charity. For me, I love doing, or I actually want to do more of this. More with like animals. So volunteering to walk dogs at dog shelters, volunteering even around my neighborhood to walk dogs. That sounds like something I really enjoy. It's been on my mind. I need to take action. But volunteering my time for like streams like this, volunteering my time for clients, volunteering my time for CASA kids, volunteering. Like these are all the things that I'm like, okay, let me give my time so that I feel good. I've made a mark in the world. These all feel good. So think, what can you do over the weekend like that? This all sounds so wholesome, right? Like you're going to be a really good person in doing all of these things. Good for yourself and good for the community. Something else is spend your weekend meal planning. So a lot of people say that they're going to wait until Sunday, but why not go grocery shopping on Saturday and get everything that you need, at least for the first part of your week? That gives you an extra day to then meal prep. You don't have to grocery shop and then meal prep all in the same 4-hour block. I think that's where a lot of people go awry. They go to the grocery store, they get the food, they come home with all of the intention to meal prep it, but by now they're tired. And so maybe go to the grocery store Saturday, map it out. What are you going to cook? Get your mind ready for it. And then Sunday, put on some good music or football and meal prep. Get yourself ready for your nutritional strategies the following week. Check out day 10 Sober October live stream. That's when we went over some nutrition help, why nutrition is so important. Some other things to do over the weekend. Let me know if you have any ideas, if you've been doing anything the past first weekend of Sober October. This is only going to be the second one. Drop some comments, suggest some things for the rest of the group. In my mind, I can't help but love a good YouTube video lecture, Bob Proctor, a good thought leader, like podcast, positive podcast, put that on, tidy up your house. That has a really positive effect on your dopamine receptors. You feel good when your space is tidy. You feel accomplished. You're checking things off. Maybe you spend time with family members that you've been wanting to give more quality time to. Maybe you just lay on your couch and you imagine your beautiful future alcohol free. Maybe you put on some guided meditation and you imagine what your life is going to look like, how you want it to look like. That's a way to get reconnected with yourself. All of these things are really, really helpful. A good Friday night gym session, go to a lifting gym, Planet Fitness, something like that, and put some good music in your ears, get a good lift in, and think about how you're progressing in your life rather than what you would be doing on a typical Friday night. That was definitely a mindset shift for me, of going to the gym on a Friday at 8 to 10 p.m. ish. Sometimes I would get to the gym at 10 p.m. on a Friday. And I would just feel so good knowing that right now I'm getting ahead in life versus sitting at the bar falling behind. And all of these mindset shifts will help you change the way you look at yourself, change the way you look at your time, change the way you look at alcohol. Some other suggestions, just want to let you guys know, I will not be live streaming on Saturday or Sunday, but there's new episodes of the Unsoberly Sober show, the podcast show that I host. Obviously very similar themes because they come from my brain and my experience and my coaching work with my magnificent clients. A new episode dropped today. There are already 33 other episodes here on my YouTube channel or on Apple, Spotify. Search Unsoberly Sober show. So spend time listening to that, spend time watching videos from other speakers, other people who have talked about sobriety, and continue to get your wits about you when it comes to the idea of a sober side of life. It needs to become normal in your perspective and healthy and advantageous in order for even moderation to stick. Because here's the thing, if you plan to reintroduce alcohol, but you want to do it in a healthier way, in a more moderate way, come November or maybe down the line, you're going to have to learn to say no and be sober most of the time and enjoy it, because moderation is still doing it less than you do it. If that makes sense. Does that make sense, you guys? Moderation, just because you can drink doesn't mean you do. That's a quality of moderation. So you're going to have to become comfortable and even excited at life without alcohol so that you say no most of the time and you can positively discern when the right time is. So I hope that makes sense. I think that will make sense further along in your journey. Moderation does not just mean having control over when you do drink, being able to stop at 1, but then drinking whenever the opportunity arises. Moderation is more about frequency and rate of consumption. So having 1 or 2 once a week is still a lot. Your brain is still experiencing a lot of up and down with the way alcohol works. 1 or 2 a week is still a lot for your body. Alcohol is that potent, but we kind of lost touch with that. If you're going to have some, once a month, that would be, I think, more moderate. That's the max that I ever do. And even once or twice a month, I can still feel the depression. I can still feel the anxiety, and it's just not worth it. So I still have to say no most of the time, but that feels good. I get to say no. Like, I'm excited to say no because I know I'm feeling good long term. So with that being said, do what you have to do this weekend to become familiar and excited by being alcohol free and it not being the star of the show of everything. Get really present with everything, because from that standpoint, you can eventually be a true moderator or be happy sober, because it doesn't feel unnatural. It has to feel natural for it to stick. So I hope this was helpful. You guys, let me know. I love to hear your comments. Remember, I'm checking out the comments for the videos to see if there's any questions, to see if there's any suggestions, to see if you guys have any ideas that you want to share, stories you want to share. Remember that I am going to be looking at those. So please, please, please do not be shy. I know this is a very personal subject, but we're all friends here. We're all on the same mission. Nobody is watching this if they don't feel some sort of resonance or compassion towards this subject. So please feel free to Margaret. Hi, Alan. Thank you. Please feel free to drop questions, drop your story. Let me know what is working, what isn't working in your sober October. There will be no live stream this weekend. Check out the Unsoberly Sober Show episodes. There are all sorts of different episodes. I think another helpful one right now in the place that most of us might be in Sober October is alcohol and your toxic ex. I think it really helps brighten up some dark spots and blind spots around why time away from alcohol is necessary if we're going to moderate, but it has to be time well spent. I think that the emotional regulation episode would be great. There is a parts work episode, attachment versus authenticity episode. So check those out this weekend. Spend your time wisely. Lastly, if you're like feeling like, oh my gosh, I just can't get through this weekend, I need more resources, I need more help, check out the course and community. It's the first link in the description of this video that will take you directly into the Magnify course. You will have a library of mindset videos going really in depth as topics just like this, but more in depth for members. You'll get the course modules, things that you can spend your time doing over the weekend. You'll get access to the Discord community board where we have our members sharing their wins and asking questions and posting links for all their mocktail things. And, you know, it's just a really cool place. We share our workouts. We talk about, this week we've been talking about creatine a lot. So that community space is awesome. And it also gives you access to me as your coach, access through email and messaging on Discord. So I know what you're going through and I can help you apply these things. That is a monthly membership and it is so worth it. Even if you just stay 1 month, it's $197 for 1 month. So $50 a week. I guarantee that that would be easy to blow on alcohol. So why not invest in yourself? That is the Magnify course and community. If you are really ready, Freddy to take some action with a coach and accountability and a community of people cheering you on. That link is there in the description of this video. Instagram, message me, DM me if you have any questions. If you can't find that link and you want to get in, I'm on Instagram at Magnify Maggie. All of the love, you guys. Can't wait to talk to you. Have a great weekend. Reach out if you need anything over the weekend at Instagram, email, all of the things. All right, guys. Lots of love. Go do differently this weekend. Remember, all it takes is to think differently in order to drink differently. Focus on what you want to expand in your life, not what you don't want to expand in your life. It all goes down in the mind. Until Monday, signing out. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye.